I first thought about my father, my biological father, and all the stuff that he had been through and all the flack that he got over the years for whatever transpired. But at the end of the day, he was okay with being perceived as a bad guy just because he knew that I was straight and I was taken care of. And it made me realize that there's gonna come a point in time where I'm gonna have to be that quote unquote bad guy just cause the end prize is, his development and he end up okay.
Hey, we back with another episode of Beyond the Breaks. Man, church. And man, we want to dive in on a specific topic this evening. And we want to talk about fatherhood, because and what it comes with, just the fears, the responsibility, the determination, what else would come with fatherhood, just the prideful moments, and so that's something that we've kind of been talking about, post show or pre-show, not post. And it's something that tugs us in so many different ways. And just kind of trying to relate on a lot of things that we're dealing with today, in today's society that's been going on for many, many years. And now, especially with the technology we have, we're able to see a lot more of it, and especially being a Black father in America, and I kind of want to touch on some things as, since young Terrail over here is the newest father of the crew.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
And, just going through that process, because you got more of a clear, vivid memory than we do when it comes to that transition, even though we still have great memory of that. But going through the process of y'all being pregnant to McCary being born and where you are now, talk to us about that.
Man, it's crazy because the moment I found out, it was like, man, everything. I actually dreamt about my son maybe, probably 4 or 5 years ago now. Because, I dreamed about him, and briefly, it was like a prelude to what was to come. Because prior to that, I hadn't gone on the department yet. We hadn't bought this house, and, Ashley wasn't pregnant, but I seen all that. And then when I got the news, it was just like, wow. Because up until then, as coaches, we mentor kids, but once I got the news, I was just like, okay, it's live bullets now.
Bullets.
The lights is on.
You in the heat.
Everything, it counts now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it was almost like I felt an immediate shift, paradigm shift in my thinking. And it's kind of similar to we all married here. So when you get married, you kind of feel the same thing. Well, you were married.
Rephrase that. There you go.
Past tense. But it's kind of like a similar ordeal, but it's more intense because when you get married, you change your thinking because now every decision that you make, you always asking yourself, how does this affect my wife?
Absolutely.
And it's the same ordeal when you find out you're going to become a father, especially for us for being a father of a Black child. Mm-hmm. And it was 10 times more intense for me because now it's like, okay, his life is my responsibility. He gonna hang on every word that I say. So it just put me in a mental mind state where I wanted to make sure all my shortcomings at bare minimum were addressed. Mm-hmm. I gotta make sure that's right because if my frequency is off, then I'm doing him a disservice out the gate. Like, and I can't have him starting, you know, behind the 8 ball. I'm trying to get him ahead. So it just made me want to make sure that mentally I was in a good spot. Emotionally, I was able to start putting to practice emotional intelligence, you know, because now I'm actively defining what manhood is for him. He gonna, like I said, he gonna hang on all my words.
Yeah, he's gonna watch you.
I'm his visual reference, so
exactly.
I gotta make sure I'm on point
all the time. And it's crazy, you're not there yet, but when they start walking or just even crawling, and their whole personality starts to shape them, you know, because they're going to develop their own personality, their own attitude, as we know, you know, and it's going to blow you away, you know. Rob, like you have two, they're older now, and going through that process of them being young, I know we said it's not easy, but it gets a little bit easier when they get older, but at the same time, there's difficult times. And what are some of those difficult times and going through that process of when they were younger to where it is now? And what's your mindset as a father growing your young lady and man?
I would say my wifey, when she started working and I started, you know, having to take the kids, you know, every day from the morning till she got off, it was a lot on me, man. That was like the most difficult time. I think that's when I had actually put on a lot of weight. I remember training kids in the sand. And I got Emery on my neck, CT running around the sand pit. But I would say definitely those times were tough on me because you got to get up, you got to prepare and plan an hour earlier. I'm still guilty of that, but you know, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it. And then having a structure, you know, you have to meal prep for your kids unless you want to buy out fast food. And I'm not for that at all. I hate buying my kids fast food. So, you know, just being on the run, you know, me being an athletic trainer and a personal trainer for fitness, it's just like, it was always tough for me to get them up, get them dressed, get them showered, get them dressed, have their meals ready, get them in the car, get to the place where I'm training, make sure they're settled, and then get into the actual workout with my client. And I started that since CT's first time walking was with you at the gym. So it was like, man, it was a lot on me, man. I mean, but that's pretty much it.
It is tough. It is tough, man. And like just even with Christine and with Brooklyn and me being gone a lot of times and just how she was with her, we have great family support. That's huge. You know what I'm saying? Having that family support is huge when it comes to kids, man, because it's difficult. It's hard. It's hard. It literally takes a village to raise a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And kids. And we had one, unfortunately, one passed away early. We had a stillbirth. But just the process with Brooklyn was easy. And she still is, man. I'm like, the baby girl is easy. You know what I'm saying? And that makes it so much easier for us. But it's difficult because, again, like you said, you got to meal prep. You got to do all these things. You got to meal prep. You don't want to eat out all the time. I get caught up in getting fast food. Bro, you ready to go get some eat? Dad don't cook that much. You know me, I don't cook that much. And every once in a while, I'll cook up some, you know, and sometimes she my biggest critic. Nah, Dad. This ain't it. It ain't it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be having a brook. All right, did I whip this up? She be like, okay. She give me a thumbs up if I whip up something good, you know. But like the biggest thing is she's easy, you know. And my thing of her growing up, man, it was just like I just wanted to have that strong presence for her. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I do is for her. You know what I mean? And that's my motivation, like with all of us, man. Because again, like you said, they're gonna mimic you. They're gonna watch you. You know what I mean? They know. You know, like especially her, she's very observant. She picks up a lot. And she is very bright, and she gonna tell it like it is. You know, she gonna probably hold her feelings in, but she's gonna tell it how it is. And you know, and she's more conservative in some ways, but in a lot of ways, so outgoing like me. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh my gosh, this girl, man.
Yeah, with kids, it seems like much more is caught than you ever teach them.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to what I was saying about always being on point. Like, they watching you 24/7. So it's like with me, one of the things I always wanted to do is make sure that, you know, my seed has a well-developed self-concept. I mean, like, even the artwork, something as trivial as the artwork that I got up on the walls.
Right.
Like, I got Ali up there. I got black jazz musicians right there. I got kids from Southside Chicago on the Rolls Royce, you know. But I'm trying to create as many dope images of himself that he sees, so he has something he could attach to. Even from the name, like, I named him Makiri Jamadari. Like, Makiri means clever and skillful. Jamadari means warrior and leader. So off top,
His name is
as soon as he came out the womb, like, he gonna have it. There's an expectation that's already set for him, which is his own. You know, he got to live up to that name, and it's his name. You know, so.
And that's I love how you touched on that expectation, because we all have expectations for not only ourselves as fathers, but, you know, we have that expectation for our kids. And it's like, with me, I'm so, like, my brother had all boys, you know what I'm saying? So with my nephews, I could just punch on them. I'm hard on them, you know, and just even, and me having a baby girl, it's like, I don't want to be that hard on her. I'm hard on her, but I'm not hard on her. I had to tell her one day, I said, bruh, you are lucky you are not a boy. You are lucky you are not a boy. Because I would have been done roughed you up. You know, I'd be roughing her up a little bit, but I don't give her the full treatment, you know, because she's a girl, you know what I mean? And you just, you're more of a, you give that more of a nurturing side. And that's where that, you know, when we talk about a balance of the masculinity of a man, and then you got to have that, you know,
Soft side.
that soft side.
Right.
You know
You
what
can
I'm
say
saying?
that feminine
You know,
principle.
that feminine principle.
Yeah,
You
we
know what
all
I'm
got
saying?
it.
You got to have that balance. And I was listening one time, it's crazy, a clip with Louis Farrakhan, and he was talking about that. Like, you got to have that side. You got to have that balance, especially for the women we have, right? And like you said, you're raising a black man. I'm raising a black woman, you know, and you're raising both. You know what I'm saying? You should be sitting in the middle because you got both. You know what I'm saying? But like, no, and you got both. So, and it's like, you have to fluctuate, you know. It's crazy.
It's hard.
I know it's hard, because with you, one is seeing one getting treated one way, and the other one seeing is the one getting treated one way.
And then she asked questions. She's like, why are you so hard on Carson? And I tell her, like, that's the second coming of daddy, you know. But I'm hard on you too. Like, the expectation is there. And the one thing that Terrail always laughs at that I do with them is, if they don't do what I ask them to do, or if they're like, let's say they're just having a rough day, they fumbling, they don't want to train, or they don't want to do the things that I have planned for them, I'll tell them, like, look, man, I'm going to take that last name from you, man. You know, hey, it's an expectation with that last name.
You ain't lying.
Absolutely.
I do that to Brooke all the time. I say, hey, all right, I'm going to take your last name. She's
Right.
like, no. that last name.
Right.
And when you do that, bro, that's that sense of pride already.
Right.
You know, that's that name, that's their name.
Right.
And when you say that, that lets you know already they take pride in that.
Right.
You know, you want to instill that pride, because that's how you protect your legend.
Right.
Your legend, you know, that's how you protect that. And what are we leaving behind? I know a lot of people are like, man, don't you want to have a boy to, you know, create that legacy? I got 3 nephews, man. Right. They're gonna keep that last name.
Everything gonna go on.
My baby girl, I just don't want to reset. That's my only thing. I just don't want to reset.
Well, I'll say this, like, I play ball. I don't care what he does.
Right.
It's got to be positive. You know, one thing that's really, like, dope right now that my daughter's going through is that she does dancing, and this place, you know, she dances at is like, when I got the bill, I was like, bruh, like, this girl only 5 years old, bruh. Hold up. Is she really that good, or y'all trying to get this money? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, keep it 100 with me.
Right.
But when I started paying attention to her daily routine, I said, damn, she really love this, man. Like, she's really, really into this. She's always practicing her moves. She's always trying to do, like, squats and stuff to make her legs stronger, so her moves are a lot better. And that melts my heart, man, because you guys know my journey and my driven purpose. And I just look at that and I say, damn, bruh, they both got what I have in me, which is determination to be something, you know what I mean? But we just got to continue to nurture that. Now, my son, it has been, he fights me, man. He's lazy. He's me all over again. Yeah, right. I was telling T, I said, Brack played against me when I was young. I was looked just like CT.
Just like it. Just like it.
It didn't start making sense to me until my 8th grade year of, or junior high school. That's when I started running more. I started, I lost to a girl in a foot race, and that like just blew my mind. Like, I got to work harder. You know what I mean? So now my daughter beats Carson all the time in running, and it pisses him off.
That's what I asked the other day, right? I was like, man, Emery faster than you? He was like, no. She said, yes, I do. I be beating you.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes. She is pretty fast, though.
She got wheels, bro. But it's funny to put them, like what I do, and I think a lot of parents probably do this, or if they don't, they should, is I turn my kids against each other. There's a reward for whoever can finish the workouts or whatever we're doing, schoolwork, whatever. Whoever can finish it faster and get everything right, there's a reward. And recently I told my daughter, I said, I'll buy you whatever you want. And she was like, did you just hear that? She talking to CT in the back seat, like, he gonna buy me whatever I want. And I said, you know why I'm gonna buy you whatever you want? Because you do everything I ask of you. You go over and beyond in your dance, routines, and it's like you love what you do. And she's like, yeah, I love it. Yeah. Woo, but she keep messing with Carson, like elbowing him, like, you hear that? And it's making him mad, right. You know what I mean? So it definitely sets a bar for her to say, for him to be like, dang, I gotta step my game up. And you see it, I don't train CT as much as Coach T here. And, he says, dang, man, Carson, he coming with it tonight. And I said, it's because Emery pushed me.
He messed me up the other day. He came up to me and he was like, Uncle T, I have a question. I was like, yeah, what's up? He says, can you help me with my footwork? Because I'm going to be playing football this year. I was like, is that right? And he was just like, yes.
Man, that's awesome, man. Because, again, that's another form of investing. Right. We're investing in our kids. And it's like when I see that bill every month coming out for gymnastics and then on competition fees, and thank God for Nana for private workouts that she taking care of. You know what I'm saying? God, because it ain't cheap. But to see my daughter in her domain, it makes me so proud. Right. And this year is crazy. She's been battling injuries, hamstring, groins. Now it's her knee. She competed with her knee. This was her first full competition, and it happened to be the state meet. And she finished 9th overall in her age group in the state of California.
Wow.
9th. Her first full competition. You know what I'm saying? And like, very proud of her. You know what I mean? So she didn't have all the other competitions to critique herself, and because it's like track. You can run track, you can do track practice, but you get better at the track meet.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You could practice football all week,
mental side,
but you get better doing game day, right? And it's that mental side of it. And I remember the first time she competed in state a couple years ago, she was killing, doing really well in her competitions. And she gets to state and she doesn't do that well. And I'm like, Brooke, like, what happened? Like, you were doing, she was just like, Dad, it was a big meet. I was nervous. I'm like, you too young to feel that already.
But how do you talk? How do you talk her through that?
So I'm like, listen. So my thing is with her and how I did her, because I remember when she first went to, this was before she switched gyms, I believe. Might have been. And I mean, we were down in Arizona for a competition. The week before for one of her meets, she did not do well at all. I think she got one medal and it was like 7th place. And she didn't even place like overall. It was like a hand-me-down, you know what I'm saying, type of medal. Dad ain't having that. That's just what we ain't doing. That ain't in our DNA.
Right.
So that next week, we go out to Arizona, man. And we're all about to leave the hotel room. I'm like, Brooke, get back. Y'all can go. Brooke, you get back.
Give her that pep talk.
Lay down. And I want you to close your eyes. And I'm going to call your name out. And I want you to visualize every last one of your events that you're about to do. Right? And I want you to visualize you doing them right. in winning form. And I called her name, Brooklyn, you up? Okay, we're doing beam. Go through your routine. See yourself doing it right. She go through it, done. Bam, okay. Next one, bars. Went through that whole process. This girl like racked up on medals. And I'm talking about top 3. And from there, her game, her skill level is increased. Like I'm talking about to the point where parents is like, oh, we can't wait to see her compete. Especially this year. We can't wait to see her compete. We can't wait to see her compete. But she loves it. She's flipping around the house, doing all these backflips and stuff, dude. Like this girl, looking at her on the camera one time, she was in the backyard, right? And she just flipping around. I'm talking about it be scaring me, dude. But like she did something, she fell on her face and she ran in and said, Dad, did you see that? I said, what? She ran in, she was like, oh, that's why I thought you was coming outside, right? I'm like, what? She was like, rewind the cameras. Oh my God. And my baby girl, y'all know she's a nut. She's a straight clown, right? But I mean, just to see her in that mode and just see her compete and for her to compete when she's dealing with this little knee, she got the little ulcer sliders, little knot on her knee, has been flaring up on her these last few weeks. And just to see her fight through that, you know, and just want to keep going, don't want to take days off and just want to keep going. She don't like to put in the extra work. I got to force her. But when it comes to once she gets down into it, she's locked in. She already know. I took her to her first college competition a few years ago, watching UCLA. That's where she want to go. That's crazy because that was my childhood school. You know, and I wanted to go to UCLA. I'm one of the only schools in the Pac-10 who did not recruit me. You know what I'm saying? But like to see her, to want to be at that level, watch a couple things and follow up on them too. Like, oh, they won their competition or they lost against Utah, like things like that. You know, I want her to dive in and watch more of it, but you know, she's still at that stage to where, you know, it'll build into her. And I don't want to be too hard on her because I know how I am. I know how I can get. And when I get in full train mode with her, oh, I ain't nice like boss. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, going back real quick, you know, I feel that being a father and having that practice meditation, what you did with her when you laid her down and had her close her eyes. I mean, we had that in our career to where I know there was games where I was like, okay, man, I got to get up before everybody or before practice or, you know, before the game. And I would meditate with my eyes closed. I still do it sometimes. And, you know, just getting to that sunken place to where you're like, I can do this. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been there, you know, and I know this may be a little off subject, but have you ever been there in a game to where you just dove deep into like, you're not even there at the game, but you're making the play. You just flow.
Yeah, no, that's
flowing,
just
man.
that's the isness. That's the isness. That's just being in the moment. When everything's aligned and you're present, you get in the zone, as they call it. You know, and it's funny. That's dope that you did that visualization technique because, I mean, we could all attest to it. Every play that I've ever made in life, every big play in whatever sport I was playing, not even just plays, but like any like milestone I've ever wanted to reach, I've rehearsed a million times over in my head, like over and over, just like a movie that's being rewound.
Right.
So, you know, the mind don't know the difference between, you know, an actual movement that you're executing and what you're visualizing rather.
Right.
So,
It becomes a part of your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? And it just flows and goes, right? No, that is, I mean, it is awesome. And I think what we do, you know, from what we've learned in our transitions to how we pass down, and you're in that transition of and going, and you're gonna learn how to handle Mercury. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's already doing a good job. He's recently told me that, I mean, you might not think that he's a baby boy and he may not be picking up on you getting up when, you know, your wife gets up, but like, I didn't do that, man. You know what I mean? Like, I was asleep. I needed my sleep, man. So for you to do that, bro, that's gonna go a long way with him, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. But I wanted to ask you guys, you know, as a father, the protection over your kids, you know, how do you fathom, you know, do you have cameras set up around your houses, you know, because anything can happen. I mean, this year with what's happened with COVID, people are getting a little more out there, you know. I'm a little weary of letting my kids play in the front yard. How do you guys go about that?
It was funny. Like me and my little brother was just talking about this today, and we was talking about how kids. We used to always be outside. We used to let them go, be around apartment complex, and all that. Like things is crazy how things has changed. I don't know if it's the level of fear that we've created, but it's just so much that goes on because we see so much and hear so much because of the social media and everything that's been put out there, right? I mean, it's not like we should turn our necks to it, or turn our heads to it, but it's something that we have to be sure about because you don't want nothing to happen to them. We want to protect them the best way we can, right? And it's like, man, I was just watching today too. I was just watching my baby girl and her cousin just out at the park, man, and I'm just watching and I'm sitting in the car and I got this nice little view and they running around and next they on the grass and they doing flips, Brooklyn doing all her little flips and back tucks and I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying? And the next they lining up all these other kids and racing and stuff like that. I'm like, dang, right? Then this one little kid came around. He was on this little bike or whatnot. And I look up and I see my little niece like jump kicking, bam! And I'm like, oh, whoa, what's going on? And little buddy went after her. And then Brooklyn went after him like, nah, this ain't going down. Like, oh. I was like, all right, hold on. Am I going to have to hop out the car and, him little man up? You know what I'm saying, right? But they handled it, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, dang, like, I'm not here. Like, they're going to experience things, man. And you don't want nothing to happen, right? And it's just like you hear about, especially with girls, you hear about like all this sex trafficking and stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's like, remember we used to be in apartments and stuff and hanging out with all the kids at the apartment complex and it's like, dang, do I even want my daughter to even do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know, how we grew up at the apartment complex, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't even say something that we play, man, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, that be that one dad that had the apartment complex, see the cute girl that could never go outside. Right. That's gonna be my child. You know what I'm saying? You can't go outside. But you can't play with the kids.
But it's a gift and a curse.
She gonna be Brandy from Boys in the Hood.
Right.
It's a gift.
Exactly.
It's a gift and a curse, though, guys.
It is.
What you keep from her, she gonna run into.
She gonna run into. But see, I'm not strict on her like that. Yeah. And I allow her to open up to me as much as she can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. So, I mean, I gotta let her live her life. I gotta let her be able to talk to me about things and I can't get upset. As much as something may anger me, I can't get upset. I can't explode.
Take note on that, Brack.
You know what I'm saying? I can't explode because then that's when the resentments build. And it's like, you know what? I can't talk to him because baby, I'm gonna tell you how it is. I'm gonna be stern with you, but I'm not mad at you. Right. I don't hate you. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that. Like, holla at me. Like, cause I'm gonna, whether I agree with it or not, right, I'm gonna help you. The best way I know how. Right. The best way I know how. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, think about this. I'm worried, like, shoot, she start her maturity on my watch. I'm gonna be like, oh, shoot. Ooh. That's things I gotta think about.
How old is she now?
10. That's around the corner.
Oh, it's around the corner. It's coming.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you gotta do that on mom watch. Do that on mom watch.
Nah, you be all right,
I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna try my best to have a nice little kit for her, you know what I'm saying? Be ready for it.
Be prepared. That's the biggest thing.
Just getting knowledge and, hearing different, stories and from others and just, okay, let me get prepared, Like, shoot. It was one story though. I'm gonna tell this, right? So I don't know what happened to my baby girl, but I just remember her screaming in the shower. And I'm like, oh, what the heck? And I'm like, Brooke, what is going on? She's like, Dad, it burns. I'm like, I'm not looking under the hood. Nana! To call her Nana up. Like, yeah, you gonna have to come check this. I'm not doing it. But see, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's
man.
hard.
That's hard.
Tough.
It's tough, and it's like it don't matter if you're in a partnership in your marriage or whatever. It's hard with kids. You have your challenges. It don't matter if you're a single parent. You have your challenges. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is, you have them. You know? Another thing I want to ask is, as a black father in America right now, or just even a black man, what's your biggest fear?
Man, my son getting smoked on these streets. Period, point blank. It's crazy because I was just watching the Tambourine stand up with Chris Rock, and he said something that I thought was so profound. And he was like, first off, he was just talking about men. He was just like, men are the only creatures that aren't loved unconditionally. Women, children, and dogs are, but men aren't. And then he said, as a black man, there's a certain level of coldness that you got to accept. And it made me think about how many times I first thought about my father, my biological father, and all the stuff that he had been through and all the, like, you know, flack that he got over the years for whatever transpired. But at the end of the day, he was okay with being perceived as a bad guy just because he knew that I was straight and I was taken care of. And it made me realize that there's gonna come a point in time where I'm gonna have to be that quote unquote bad guy just cause the end prize is, you know, his development and he end up okay. So it's like, and as a parent, everybody wants to give their kid a better life than they had. But then the flip side of that coin is like, but there's a cold ass world out there. How do I even begin to prepare him for that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
when he get pulled over, when he experiences nepotism in the workforce, racism, hate crimes, you know, violence, being racially profiled, you got all these different dynamics that come into play. And it's like, how do you walk the finding the balance and walking that fine line to where you nurture him and he knows that you love you, but then the expectations that's set for him, that you push upon him, that you're stern on, that you're non-wavering and non-negotiable about, making sure that they live up to that standard for their best interest, so that nobody's going to be harder on me than you, but nobody's also going to love you the way that I do.
Right.
You know, be their biggest fan, their biggest critic. And I realized, you know, that's how it's got to be today, because I mean, as black men, you're up against, it's a plethora of different things that you have to take into consideration, that you got to battle with. It's always a battle.
It's a daily battle. Where you say?
I mean, I go off of what T said, man. It's the same. You know, I fear for his life. I fear that, you know, he doesn't make the same mistakes that I've made. And I'm going to do my best to, you know, push him away from those mistakes and, you know, tell him about what's to come and how to avoid that stuff. But I would say the biggest thing is just finding the confidence early. Yeah. You know, it's not a fear of mine, but like I would want him to find who the hell he is early. Yeah. Do you give your kid everything, man?
Give him everything that he needs. Yeah. And I would say occasionally reward him. You can't give him everything he wants, because then you spoil him. Right. But when necessary, and I feel like you'll know deep down when to reward him and when not to, when it's warranted, when it's like, okay, you know what, you showed out, like, here, let's do this, you know, every once in a blue moon. But I mean, you don't want to, I think the worst thing that you could do, especially to a black boy, is spoil him. Because again, going back to the coldness of the world on the outside, like, everything he's going to do in life is going to be measured constantly. It's going to be a nonstop state of competition. Like, sometimes, like, even just when I walk out the door, like, I'm prepping my mind just for the next issue that's going to pop up. I don't know where it's going to, what angle it's going to come from, but you develop that mindset over time, because I've always felt like there's always been something that I'm battling, that I'm trying to overcome, that I'm in a struggle against. Like, it's like a nonstop, like, it's like you're a piece of iron being forged in this fire, and you're constantly redefining yourself, refining yourself. And essentially for us, it's defining our manhood and what that is and what that entails.
No, that makes sense. And it's just like I was saying, you give them everything they need, but you reward them with everything they want, you know. And it is just, you want to teach them to have that mindset to work hard. You know, there's always a reward at the end of, or that light at the end of the tunnel, the reward at the end of that battle, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to ask yourself, versus things is it a reward at the end of this battle? Whatever that battle you're fighting, is it worth it? Is there a reward at the end of that? Right. You know, so you got to teach them the difference between, you know, that right there. Not everything it's a battle to be won, right? And be rewarded from. But I mean, if they're doing well in school, which they're supposed to do, they're putting in work, they're doing well in that sport, you know, that's, you know, and they ask for something, you want to reward them with that. You know what I'm saying? That's just another form of love. It's a love language, you know. You want to give that, you know what I mean? And that's a huge thing, because at the end of the day, it makes them feel so good, you know what I mean, to know that they're able to get that new toy or whatever it is just to be rewarded, that ice cream, that, you know, just take it to a theme park or a movie or something, get snacks.
Yeah, I got away from the snacks. But
you know what I'm saying? but that, it's just, it becomes a reward, not a daily thing, but it becomes a reward, you know, allow them to have that, you know. So that's the biggest thing, because now they're going to have that mindset of hard work pays off. You know, no matter what it is, that hard work is going to pay off. At a young age, you're rewarded with little toys, snacks, or whatever the case may be, you know, little trips. But as you get older, think about it. Now you have your financial rewards, your medals and things like that, like, you know, trips. You know, the better you do. Now you're traveling here for a competition or a meet because of your skill level, or, you know, you did a spelling bee or something in school, or you traveling for dance or music, whatever the case may be, because of that hard work that you put in, your gifts, your focus, right? And so you get rewarded in many different ways. And that's why I say, like, you reward them for their wants, and you provide their needs, you know. And I think that's a big thing, because I know you had a story to talk about your Jordans, you know, prior to that.
When I was young, you know, everybody in high school, all the basketball players, all the homies, they had J's, man. And, you know, I'm in some Nikes, some cheap Nikes at that, you know. And it was like, Dad, I remember going home, you know, on several occasions, like, Pops, come on, man, I need these J's, man. And he used to tell me, like, son, I ain't got no money for them J's. But, hey, you know, if I don't get them for you now, you better get them for yourself one day. And I remember buying my first pair of Jordans, man. I was in college. And I remember calling home like, Pops, I just bought these J's, man. He was like,
which ones did you get?
I got the 11 patent leathers,
yeah,
man.
buddy.
And he was like,
Space Jam ones, huh?
Space Jam, they first came out.
My first pair too.
He was like, I'm proud of you, man. See, I told you, if I wasn't able to get them for you, you would have got them for yourself. And he's like, you spent your own money at that. He said, see, son, I was teaching you something. I was like, man, you just didn't want to buy any J's, man. Because, you know, J's at that time was like $150 a pair, man.
Yeah,
so,
way more now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So, I mean, but I love my father, and he put me through a maze mentally to build me. And there was always a prize at the end, but it was a prize that would have been earned from myself, you know, my own achievements, or like he never really gave me anything. He always figured out a way for me to get it myself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize he was doing that until I became an adult. And I said,
he was teaching you how to fish.
Damn.
Teach you how to fish.
That was smart. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So like with Carson, what I do is Carson asks me for something every week. So I said, you really want that? Okay. So I'll buy it. I'll put it on top of the TV, or the shelf where he can't reach it. And he looks at that, whatever it is he wants, he looks at it constantly, daily. And I said, well, you know, it's a price to pay to get it. You know, every day it's a price to pay. Well, man, how can I get it? And I said, well, we collect a lot of change and stuff for the kids, or it could be dollars. Like if I got extra dollars in my pocket, I'll be like, okay, did you give your mom any trouble today in school? She'll tell me yes or no. Okay, well, here go $1. So I'm having him pay for that, whatever it is on top of the TV, through my change that I come home with. So I'm actually teaching him to save at the same time, but like I'm not gonna take his money that I'm giving him. I'm gonna let him keep it, but he's putting it in his little bank that he has in his room. But I'm teaching him that, okay, you gotta earn that prize, man. Ain't nothing given in life for free. I say it all the time, man. And the thing I love about it is because, like you said, when kids are young, they soak up a lot of the things that you say. Mm-hmm. And he tells his sister, did you do everything you was supposed to do? Because ain't nothing in life free. Remember what daddy said. And I love that, man, because it's like, damn, he hearing me. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, y'all remember Coach Greer, Charles Greer?
Yeah.
And he used to go ham on Kendall. And I used to be like, damn, bro, you too hard on Kendall, but you could never tell a man how to raise his son.
Nope, don't do it.
But Kendall heard everything his dad was saying, man. And I remember, Charles giving me a call and saying, hey, man, you was right. And I was like, what happened? He was like, Kendall called me, man. He had gotten to something. He was having an emotional breakdown. And he called me and he said, I just needed to talk to my dad, man. He's like, you always have a solution for my issues, and broke it down. I was smiling, man, because, Charles he was hard on Kendall, but like, he was the Greers are a family that I've always looked up to, man, because they made it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Him and wifey they do a great job. So it was like, I did take things from him that I wouldn't do with CT, because he's very hard to the point where, he throw down with his kids. Oh, yeah. So, but it was things that like I said, I soaked up from him, and I was like, okay, man, I got to soak this in because I'm learning. You can never stop learning from the people around you. There's things that I learned from the Manley family. The father and how he raises his son. Everything is cerebral. Everything is a challenge for little Manley, man. And it's like, dang, how can I gather some of this and push it towards my kids and push them? So I don't know. I just think that some families have figured it out, man. And these are guys that have come from nothing. Charles from Oakland, mm-hmm. Mr. Manley from Compton. Right. They went through nothing. They've been through it all. They come from nothing. So
it's crazy. You could learn a lot, especially present parents.
Right.
Present parents for their kids, man, you can learn a lot from.
I definitely I try to pick up everything from everyone, even peers, even Rob. Like, I learn stuff from him all the time. Like, over the years, I felt like it's taught me that, when you really define masculinity at its most fundamental point, what it breaks down is initiation. Anything in the natural world that initiates, that's the masculine principle. So for me, I feel over the years, I've developed a mindset that the most masculine and manly thing I could do in whether that's as a husband or father or whatever hat that I got on, it's allowing my creative energy to generate something and being able to define that phenomena to whatever I wanted to make it to be. When you take that creative energy and you put it in motion and it comes to fruition, I think that's the most masculine thing you could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real right there. One other thing I want to talk about. What's your future plan? What's your now for your plan moving forward? And I would say, I always got to tie something back into this financial game. What is your financial plan, long-term investments for your kids? Because it's not a guarantee that your kid is going to get a full ride scholarship to a school. You don't want to deal with all these college loans and anything like that, right? So what is your financial goal? What is your plan? And what are you doing now to set them up for then? If you don't have nothing now, that's cool. If you didn't put anything in place, that's cool. Because I can get that right for you. But what is your goal? What is your mindset for that? And have you thought about that? Like, what if they don't get a scholarship? Or did they want to, you know, just go to school and now it's loans and this, that, and they're working and this? What is your goals, or what are you trying to do to protect them and save them through college
Well,
financially?
they'll never know what I'm saving for them, but I have 2 Roth IRAs for both my kids. But they'll never know that.
Right.
And I will make sure that they earn a scholarship through the work that we put in. And the reason why I say that is because you think about where sports took us, and when we got to that level and the adversity we had to face at the Division I level, at this collegiate level, period, the structure, everything, they have to go through that. I'm sorry. I think I'm a better person today because I played Division I sports.
It's almost like a rite of passage.
Right. So I feel like if we put in the work now, and history has shown over and over again, a lot of these fathers, you know, when you put in work with your kids and you nurture that, but I don't believe in forcing them to do anything, but I will force my kids to run track. That's guaranteed. But I just feel that when you build a foundation of athleticism and, you know, within the sports, that it's attainable at all costs. It's always attainable. And I just think that if they lose passion and their love for the game, which happens, you know, we see it all the time, so be it. At least you got that tuition paid for, you know, but you're not going to quit. You're going to finish, you know. So that's my take on it. So I'm kind of taking that role of I'm going to force them to push through it because I'm trying to build something much better for the workforce later. Not workforce. I would say I would definitely want my kids to own their own business and find passion in what they want to do. But to have to fight through all that, you know, management mentally, it's a mental management that goes on when you are dealing with, you know, your own business, you know, or what we went through in college, like, you know, building ourselves. It was tough, man. You know, the adversity we faced. So I just feel like they have to go through that in order to have their own business and be successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a conversation with one of my boys, and it was just like, I was telling him, like, one of the biggest things for us is to go off to college because it literally teaches you how
and you mean like get out of the state.
Get out of the state.
Get away from mom and dad.
It teaches you.
I think all of us went out of state, right?
Yeah.
It teaches you how to be well-rounded. It teaches you how to being in diverse situations and areas and of the world, you know, because honestly, if I didn't go to Washington State and man, I'd have been, even though that was a culture shock in a lot of ways, but then again, it prepared me to go to places like Regina, Saskatchewan, you know what I mean? Like things like that. It prepared me to just be and just how to adapt to another city such as Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like it taught you that. Like when we stay here, this is all you know.
Right. Mom and dad can show up at your doorstep.
You know what I'm saying? you don't it's a different type of mentality. It's a different type of growth when you go off and have to, you know, go through those trials.
Oh, absolutely.
With you and what's your plan? What's your mindset of putting together for your little man's to, you know, prep him for either college or life after college to give him that cushion?
From a financial perspective, we already talked about it, but I'm gonna get him a life insurance policy, and I'll probably get a Roth IRA as well. And then in addition to that, honestly, I think it's just cultivating the mindset, because in like taking all that stuff is gonna benefit him, no doubt, no question. But I think what'll help him even more is if I could put the seed in his mind to start thinking about longevity, about thinking about the family name down the road. Like, I'm just starting to think about it right now, like within the last 10 years of my life. I'm 35 now, but we all know, especially in Black households, like that conversation is usually taboo. But if I could get to a point to where it's a regular everyday conversation, like how much money did you save today? Okay, how'd you flip it?
Right.
You know, you sell them now and later, so you make an extra cash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like just developing that hustler's mindset.
Man.
But if I could develop that mindset in him early, and just simple things, it doesn't have to be nothing crazy.
Right.
Just simple, small things that we could do every day to where if it's a day-to-day thing, already subconsciously he gonna go into any situation and be and just be resourceful in that regard. And then he could take whatever I leave behind and like, you know, triple that and then pass that to his son.
Right. It's all it is just instilling that mindset into them early. Like I just even watch having Brooke watch me work. She knows my schedule. Dad, you got another, it's 10:30, you got another meeting. Or Dad, you're on break. Or Dad, you got another appointment coming up. Oh, I hear you talking about, oh, da 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 da. Like I can hear you. And she's there, she's present, and she understands it. She's seen, just being in the industry and me doing this, like she's seen what my parents have. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, baby girl, you want me to go back to coaching, or you still want me to stay in the financial industry? She like, no, you need to stay doing that. you see the way grandpa and grandma living right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I want a house like Nana's.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you see how it's already shaping her mind, and me putting in that work, and I'm telling her, like, you gotta have that type of mentality, Brooke. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm grinding, building this business for us, so you can see that like I have my schedule because I can build this business. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want that freedom. And I'm put together this program for her, so that way even if she don't get a full ride scholarship, it's the funds are geared to her to use towards for educational purposes. And how can you flip that? There's ways to flip that. Even if they do get a full ride scholarship, there's always ways around that. You know what I mean? But those funds are there and set and ready for her. You know what I'm saying?
She's a Brackenridge, brother.
Exactly.
She got to earn it. I'm sorry.
She gonna earn it. She gonna get it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm not worried about. She's going to get it.
Right.
But now those funds now you start your own business. Right. You know what I'm saying? I already got her on one of my cards to build her credit. Smart man. You know what I'm saying? So she's set. She's going to be set. So now she's going to have that credit already building, rocking for her. You know what I'm saying? So you can do things like that. And I want to put her in a place where, shoot, now I can add her on as to build the business credit. You know what I mean? Add her on to my deal, working on some things, you know what I'm saying, to do that. But there's so many different things. So where I want to make sure that she's set in a financial state of being to where now, once your credit is to a certain place and you have that credit, you have unlimited amount of income, you know? So I'm literally trying to have her, I'm putting things together now. So later on, she's set. She's going to be set. You know what I'm saying? And it's like.
And see, our fathers and our mothers and fathers, they didn't do the piggyback of credit. I wish my dad would have been educated about credit. I wish.
Right. And I'm learning. I'm diving more into the credit world. And it took me to be in a tough spot with my credit, a bad credit, to be down to figure out, dang, how do I get built back up quicker? What do I got to do now? You know what I mean? There's so many programs out there and they're just like, man, they ain't moving fast enough. They just want your money every month. That's how I'm feeling, right? You know, but there's so many things out there. There's so many sources out there. And then there's so much knowledge out there, man. And I love how we create this platform to be able to talk about this. But there's so much knowledge that's out there, and there's so much game that we can soak up. You know what I'm saying? You know, they cookies is being thrown out there, right? And then eventually, now you got people coming for the milk. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it happens, and that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like we giving them cookies. You know what I'm saying? And people want to know more. They want more. Now I need to dip these cookies. It's good. Let me get some milk with it. You know what I mean? So they want more. They want more. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what we got to be able to provide for people. We got to be able to provide for our kids. You know, when we I love these talks, man, and I love our Sundays. We always drop an episode on Sunday. We always record Sunday nights. Man, I love the fact that we can all get together and just be able to discuss, you know, just life and things that other people may be dealing with, people may want to know, may gain. We are doing something that's very, very valuable to, you know, our audience, and there's other people doing the same thing as well. But man, we just want to be able to reach one, teach one. And if y'all got any questions, man, we're gonna start going live for y'all questioning, man. So y'all go ahead, hit Beyond the Breaks, follow Beyond the Breaks. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, all of that. You know what I mean? And then we want to hear y'all comments, man. We want to hear what y'all want to bring to the table. We could talk about anything that y'all have in mind, anything that's on your heart, anything that y'all want to share. Just let us know. We will put it out there. We will discuss it. We open to any and everything. If y'all got something bad to say about us, say it so we can get better. Our skin is thick. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But y'all have a good night, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the love and the support. Beyond the Breaks, we out.